know that we're dealing with complete morons who apparently do this professionally. This is a video courtesy of or made by Cool V1C. I don't know what that is.
So I guess I'm moving up in the world. Sam Seder of the Majority Report responded to the video that I did of Andrew Wilson torching him on his ridiculous 90% marginal tax. Yes, I put out a video featuring Andrew Wilson torching Sam Seder, where I gave my thoughts in there as well. Sam Seder used my video. He didn't use the original Andrew Wilson. He used mine, which I gotta say, I thought was kind of cool. Again, I'm not a fan of the Majority Report, as you know. As a small-time YouTuber, I gotta say, I got a little excited. But enough of my jibber-jabber. Let's get right to it.
Who Andrew Wilson is. And I don't even know what they're commenting on because I literally watched the first 60 seconds of this and needed to watch no more to know that we're dealing with complete morons who apparently do this professionally. This is a video courtesy of or made by Cool V1C. I don't know what that is. It's a YouTube channel, but I think it's the dude in the insert.
That's me. By the way, it's Cool Vic. Someday I'll give the origins of my name and why this channel is called Cool Vic. But my name's Vic, hence Cool Vic.
And this is just like his cold open, I think it is. And he is done a video where I'm getting roasted by political commentator Andrew Wilson, who I also don't know who he is. But this is a great opportunity, and I am all for being roasted. I think people who listen to the program know that. But this is a great opportunity to teach some of the dumbest people alive some of the most basic elements of our government structure. And the thing is, it's called marginal tax rates. Not tax rates.
What?
Marginal tax rates. And as you know, I have, spent a considerable period of time over the years advocating that we return to the top marginal tax rates that we had in the 1950s and 1960s. And the top marginal tax rate was 90%. And that would have been on $470,000 or maybe $400,000. And in today's dollars, I think it's closer to $3 million. I may, I think I was corrected in the Jubilee, and I think it could be 4 million. But regardless, top marginal tax rate. Many of you know what that means. 90% on every dollar above a certain level of income. Let's call it 3 million. 90 cents on every dollar above 3 million. That's what a marginal tax rate means. Watch this and see how quickly it takes them to show that they know nothing.
So get ready, people. We're about to enter a masterclass on the marginal tax rate. A lot of his fans came to my video to white knight for him and defend him for their hero, Sam Seder, the hero of the little people. And, basically they're made, oh, what an idiot. Flat tax? It's not a flat tax, dummy. It's a marginal tax. Imagine this chud right here confusing flat tax and marginal tax. It's insane either way. It's insane either way. And for Sam Seder or his fans to think that this is some kind of big correction as if it makes their worldview any better is hilarious.
But really anything.
Well, what this guy proposes, you have to think about it, right? He's saying at $3 million and 90% would leave you with what? $300,000? Leave you with $300,000. So what incentive do people have exactly to give up 90% of their income?
Andrew Wilson completely torched.
No, keep going.
Sam Seder of the Majority Report for Sam Seder's recent comments. Sam Seder went on and argued that we should have a 90% tax for anyone making a certain dollar amount, which he has argued for before. Obviously, it's ridiculous, but you have lefties like Sam Seder that think it's a good idea. And Andrew Wilson joins Lord Jake Rattlesnake here to dismantle his argument and explain why it's a terrible idea. Let's see what Andrew Wilson has to say.
Clip with you. This was Piers Morgan the other day, and we covered this on our channel as well. But it's Sam Seder, who is a guy that I would absolutely love to see you debate.
Yeah, I've tried to set it up multiple times.
Oh, that would
Wait
be
a second. What? He's tried to set it up multiple times. I didn't go this far into the video, to be honest with you. I hadn't even, no, I had stopped it after. I was just like, we already know the answer to this. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, if you need to learn about taxes, and I guess this Andrew Wilson guy does.
So Andrew Wilson's main argument there, which was also my main argument, was how is this going to incentivize people to want to actually do better and go out there and bust their ass and work hard to make something of themselves? That's the main argument. And the flat tax and marginal tax thing, it doesn't matter. Both of them are discouraging. But let's continue.
If you want to have a debate, I'm happy to come on your show anytime. Honestly, anytime to debate this. And make sure you save that clip so we can replay it and I can tell your audience why you know nothing about what you're talking about. Marginal taxes. It is not 90% of $3 million.
Yeah.
It is 90% for every dollar made above $3 million. Now, just to make sure that we can establish who knows what they're talking about, if you Google marginal tax rates for dummies, literally for dummies, you will find on Google a link to this site. Put this up there, Bradley. Okay. Now let's scroll through this site for a moment. So we're all going to learn this together. Both those of us who actually take even a minute or two to figure out what they're talking about, and these guys, Lord Jeffries or whatever the guy's name was, you will see
Lord Jake Rattlesnake. Put some respect on his pronouns, Sam.
On this screen, and hold on one second. I get this up here in front of me so I can see it better.
I'll just read the purple text here. You pay tax as a percentage of your income in layers called tax brackets. As your income goes up, the tax rate on the next layer of income is higher. When your income jumps to a higher tax bracket, you don't pay the higher tax on your entire income. You pay the higher rate only on the part of income that's in the new tax bracket.
Now, what's very nice about the IRS here is that they've highlighted it in purple so that if you are, in fact, a dummy, you will be able to read that. Now, okay, put it back up and let's scroll down a little bit. So as you go, you can see the current 2024 tax rates for single payer. You have a 10% tax rate up to $11,600. And then if you make between $11,601 and $47,000, you pay a 12% rate on that quadrant or that sector of your money. And then it's 22% on the money between $47,000 and $100,000. So for instance, scroll down, they even give you an example so you can understand. Scroll down just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay. From 0 to 11,600, that portion is taxed at 10%. Then between 11,600 and 47,150, that portion is taxed at 12%. And then from 47,150,
he's really going through the whole thing. Like, he's not kidding. He really is like, let me educate you all. A strong, independent socialist is talking.
That's the way it works. And if you make $609,000, everything above $609,000 is taxed at a 37% rate. So your tax obligation is a combination of all these different rates depending on how much you make. If you only make $11,000, your tax obligation is only going to be 10% of that $11,000. But if you make $47,000, your tax obligation is going to be 10% of the first $11,000 plus 12% of the next $36,000, and so on and so on. That's what marginal rates mean. And so if the top marginal rate is 90%, you pay 37% on your first 3 million, and then any dollar above 3 million, you pay 90% on those.
Right.
And I'm willing
has
to
been that
negotiate on this.
before.
If we want to make it 4 million and then it's 90%, I'm open to that.
Right. But the point, it's an average that or you would use if you were to like use what he's the mode of thinking that he's trying to deploy there. That would be more the effective tax rate or the average of it, which is also can be misleading. But
It
he's
would
not
be the average
accurately
tax rate, and the
Right.
effective tax rate would be what you pay after you get all your loopholes and deductions.
Exactly.
It's funny because Ted Cruz always is trying to sell flat tax to these people who seem to think we already have one.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. But he wasn't even doing that misleading part. He was applying the top marginal tax rate to all of the income, which is like basic 101 understandings of how
It
our
is
tax system
so
works.
stupid. It is like such a basic rudimentary understanding of what taxes are. So this guy's brainiac enough to think
do
that
a
if
politics show.
if we take 90% of people's money at the
There's no
why
incentives.
wouldn't I just make $2 million and then I would only get taxed at 37%? I would keep a lot more money. This is really stupid. He doesn't stop to think for a moment, like, wait a second, that would be a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Easy there, Paul Krugman. Yeah, like when he's
Or they're making fun of us like, oh, because of our logic of, if you make more money and your take home is less, then what would incentivize you to make more money? And they're going, oh, that's silly. Whoa, that's not how it works at all. You guys advocate for crazy ass crap all the time. You guys like downplay lootings at stores and defend it, saying, well, who cares if they steal at stores? They have a lot of money anyway. Like, you guys advocate for crazy crap all the time. And so when we think that when you're talking about a 90% tax and we come to the conclusion that it's a flat tax, well, why would that be crazy to think that that's what you want? I mean, after all, don't you guys like hate rich people? Like, don't you guys think that there should be no reason that billionaires and millionaires, well, I don't know your opinions on millionaires anymore, because apparently millionaires are cool now. Like when you got Bill Burr, a millionaire, ranting and raving about billionaires, oh, you guys are all for it. You guys are like, yeah, go Bill Burr, the millionaire. And especially now that Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. And before he'd be like the evil millionaires and billionaires. But now that he's a millionaire, he's like the evil billionaires. So yeah, I don't know how your opinions of millionaires now. I guess millionaires are just like us now, apparently, to you people. But isn't your whole thing like tax the rich, like the rich are evil and stuff? So why is it ridiculous to think that you guys want a flat tax? Why would that be ridiculous? Because I gotta tell you something, asking for a 90% marginal tax is ridiculous. 90%? Like, you guys don't understand? They both sound extreme. Whether it's a flat or marginal tax, they both sound extreme, and you guys want a marginal tax for the same reason, because rich people evil. We don't need, only 1% of the population to have that much money, however much percent of the wealth. That's your guys' whole attitude. So, excuse me. I am sorry. My apologies for being so stupid and so silly to think that you guys would want to tax 90% of cum. So now let's debunk this whole notion of the narrative that he's got going on of the 50s and 60s flourished because we tax the rich 90% marginal tax. This is according to ChatGPT, which pulls its sources from various places across the internet, and this is what they have found. The prosperity of the 1950s and 60s in America was influenced, because this is what I asked, by the way, did taxes help America flourish in the 50s and 60s? The prosperity of the 50s and 60s in America was influenced by a complex combination of factors, and while high taxes existed during that time, they weren't the driving force behind the economic boom. It's a common misconception that high taxes created the post-war economic growth. Here's what actually happened. Why America flourished and it wasn't high taxes. The post-war industrial dominance. After World War II, the U.S. was essentially the only major industrialized nation left intact. Europe and Japan were devastated, allowing America to dominate global manufacturing and exports. This created massive job growth and rising incomes, which I think Andrew Wilson made that point in his video, by the way. You would know that if you actually watched the rest of the video. Pent-up consumer demand. During World War II, Americans were subject to rationing and limited spending. Once the war ended, there was a tidal wave of demand for homes, cars, appliances, and consumer goods, supercharging the economy. Government investment, but not welfare. The federal government invested heavily in infrastructure like the interstate highway system and education through the GI Bill, which created jobs and built a robust middle class. However, these were productive investments, not mere wealth redistribution. Ooh, it's not wealth redistribution. Eesh. That's going to trigger a lot of the Seder Knights out there, the Majority Report fans, because they love wealth redistribution. Strong families and cultural stability. The 1950s and early 1960s were defined by high marriage rates, strong nuclear families, ooh, another thing that they don't like, and low crime rates. Oh, that's another thing they don't like. The social stability contributed to economic productivity and upward mobility. Limited global competition. With Europe and Japan still rebuilding from World War II, U.S. manufacturing had no serious competition. This allowed wages to rise and businesses to thrive without outsourcing. I think that's another point that Andrew Wilson brought up in the video. Business-friendly environment, despite high taxes. While top marginal tax rate, and here we go, while the top marginal tax rate was as high as 91%, 91%, very few people actually paid it due to deductions, loopholes, and tax shelters. Additionally, corporate tax rates were lower than today, allowing businesses to reinvest profits into growth rather than being overburdened by taxation. By the way, that was another point that Andrew Wilson talked about in the video, which again, Sam Seder would know if you watched the whole thing. There you go, people. This debunks the whole freaking notion that the 90%, well, in this that this whole 90% marginal tax thing would lead to some sort of economic boom. And this took me a couple seconds to type out and to actually search up and read. So you're making fun of us but for not knowing marginal taxes and stuff. But meanwhile, you can't even do a simple search. Well, actually, maybe you can. You just don't want to. Because while you call us the grifters, you're grifting off of an audience trying to sell them on the notion that bettering themselves and making more money is actually bad. Or no, actually, you should make more money, but you should just give that more of that money to the government. And yes, I'm not saying GPT is the be all end all or anything. I'm not saying, oh, there you go, that's the final answer. But I just want to challenge you, instead of attacking the source, why don't you actually offer some arguments as to how ChatGPT is wrong? So let's finish out the video. Let's see what the Majority Report has to say.
This is obviously ludicrous. It's like, no, we've actually done this before, you moron.
Yeah.
So stupid, so incurious, and
lazy,
also
'cause
probably
that's-
very successful conservative talker, I would imagine.
Could there be a lazier content than like being too dumb to understand what tax brackets are, but then you're just clipping some other guy's Zoom show?
I think it's the second laziest after Tim Pool saying that Social Security is going to go bankrupt and not looking at the second paragraph that's right in front of him. Like, there's no evidence that Lord Wilson has like any actual article in front of him that he's just not reading. So.
Are they just taking a clip from a YouTube video and just reacting to it? I don't know. That doesn't sound like a ton of hard work to me. And by the way, I'm not trying to call them lazy or anything, but I'm just saying that we're not that much different. But I'll get to that in a little bit. I want to finish off here though by giving an example of why by giving off a final argument to why this marginal tax idea is a dumb idea. I told you, hey, I'm going to pay you $50 to mow my lawn. When you mow my lawn, I'll give you $50. However, you need to pay 37% of that in taxes. And you go, ah, crap. Okay, well, whatever. Your take home would be probably like $31 or so, like around $31. That would be your take home after taxes. So you earned $50, but you gave 37% of that away. So now your take home is $31. And then you do with that $31, whatever you will. That's not including if any maintenance you have to do with the lawnmower, whatever expenses, maybe gas because you drove here to mow my lawn, not including any of that stuff, but your take home is $31. And then let's say, okay, I'm going to also pay you $50 to mow other people's lawns in my block, in my street. You'll make $50 per lawn. However, anything you earn past that initial $50 is going to get taxed at 90%. Okay. So you go and you choose and you mow 5 lawns. Okay. You get up off early in the morning, you drive over here, spend your gas. use your lawnmower, and then in the hot sun or whatever, you go and you mow five additional lawns, including my lawn. So that's 6 lawns total, right? So you make $50 off of my lawn, and then you're gonna make $250 additional dollars. So you make $300. Wow, that's pretty awesome, right? I mowed these lawns in the hot sun and the blistering heat, and I'm gonna take home $300. Well, okay, well, no, actually. So you're taking home $31 from the initial 50 that you made, and then off of the $250 additional dollars from the additional lawns that you mowed, that $250 that $250 that you made for mowing the other lawns, yeah, you're going to be getting taxed 90% of that. So you're actually only taking home $25 of that. So $31 plus $25 is $56. So now in your head, you're thinking, well, let me get this straight. I mowed 6 lawns only to take home $56? So now ask yourself, would you keep mowing other people's lawns? What would motivate you to go off and keep mowing other people's lawns? Heck, maybe if you wanted to grow your lawn mowing and make it an actual business, maybe employ people to mow lawns, how could you grow your company? You know how many lawns you would have to cut to actually grow your company into something if the marginal tax was 90%? No one would want to do it. Would you want to do it, all you Sam Sederites sitting at home? It's utter insanity, which was my whole principle that I was arguing in my video. So yes, I might have gotten the marginal tax and flat tax confused and wrong, but my principle still stands. The taxation, whether it's marginal or flat, is still insane. Even PBD brought that up to Sam Seder when Sam Seder said this nonsense a few years ago on his podcast. PBD was all like, but Sam, would you still be making YouTube videos if they took out more of the money of ad revenue, of AdSense money? And Sam Seder said, yeah, I still would, but yeah, I'm going to press X to doubt here. And if you want to talk about grifters, Sam Seder grifts. He makes money. This is how much his channel makes, an estimate, by the way. But his channel makes decent money grifting, telling you that it's wrong to make money. But he makes money off of telling you guys that it's wrong to make a lot of money. Do you think Sam Seder is broke? Listen, I'm not saying Sam Seder is some kind of super rich millionaire or anything, because I don't think he is. But the guy's not broke. And you guys are harassing me on my channel? And you guys are harassing me, a small-time YouTuber, on my channel because I offended your precious Sam Seder? Guys, what are you doing? So there you go. That was my response to Sam Seder's video and the majority of parts of video. I would like to add, though, because he said, isn't it lazy just watching a clip and commenting on it? I'm going to let you know, though, because I've gotten that comment before. Yes, while this is easier, it's easier than making a video where there's a lot of research, a lot of editing and stuff of that nature. Yeah, it's easier, but it's not easy. Because my channel is a one-man operation. I do everything on the channel. I have to find the videos that I want to watch, and then I have to actually record the video, and then I edit the video, and then I make the thumbnails, and then I upload it. And I make 2 videos a day. So I have to do that twice every day. And when there's sometimes where I know there's going to be a day where I'm not going to be able to make videos, I have to then make the videos for that day ahead of time. So sometimes I'm making 3 or 4 videos a day. So I could see how this appears to be lazy to a lot of people watching at home, because it just looks like I just hit record and then just upload it right after. Yeah, no, nuh-uh. But I gotta tell you, it doesn't feel lazy. By the way, I'm not sitting here complaining and saying, oh, I have it so hard. Like, no, that is not my deal at all. But I do want to let all the haters out there know that, no, I'm not just simply hitting record and then just uploading it right after. Like, no, there are, believe it or not, there is some work that goes into these videos. But like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm actually very grateful that I'm able to do this, because I've been wanting to be like a YouTuber for a long time. I've had this channel for for 15 years, I think, about now. And it blew up recently. And as someone that's a huge fan of the YouTube platform, I mean, I watch nothing but YouTube pretty much. To actually be a content creator, a YouTuber, and actually have people follow me and actually listen to what I have to say, You know, I have like 11,000 subscribers, which I know is small time, but for me, that's a lot. And I'm grateful for all of you guys. So I just want to take this time to thank you guys all who watch my videos regularly. You guys are very much appreciated. If this is the first time seeing my video, I encourage you to smash that like button if you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, subscribe to my channel. I got much more content like this if you like this type of stuff that I think you'll enjoy.